Alright, let's turn on this one instead. Let's get this going. Where's the fanfiction? There we go. Alright, so what someone logged into different accounts and lead. Hi viewer. Let's see. So till I get at least like 2 viewers, I'm gonna, or 3 viewers, I'm gonna just do Alliance Blood Battle. Just for now. Just because I need to do it anyways. So fanfiction starts at 3 viewers. Alright. I'm gonna knock you out. Sure. One viewer. So let's get this going. I'm just promoting myself a little bit in the meanwhile. 2 viewers, alright. Hi Lyserx and hi Lone Warrior. Welcome to the stream. Liver, lol. I'm live, I meant. 3 viewers, alright. Let me just do this the last 3 times. Do you even know I know who you are. Tesai sucks. Yeah, he does. Welcome to the stream. I'm nervous. I'm gonna do freaking.
Yo, Nsfw, your mic is muted on stream.
I need to restart the stream, I think. I don't know. Should audio. Alright guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test, test, test. Test, test, test.
I hear you here, but not on the stream.
Give me your sexy fanfic voice. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Test. Yeah, okay, cool, cool, cool. Alright. Disclaimer, I don't own bleach. I would never steal from Titsukube, Kubo-sensei. Ichigo and Rukia lay in Ichigo's bed in each other's arms and their legs entangled. The sun can be seen rising out the window. Its rays shining over the two bodies. The light hits Rukia perfectly in the eyes and causes a stir from her formerly motionless body. I'm on Discord. Ichigo and Rukia lay in Ichigo's bed in each other's arms and their legs entangled. The sun can be seen rising out the window. Damn, I'm reading the same thing. Damn sun, she mumbles. Or, damn sun, she mumbles. Sleep still apparent in her newly awoken daze. She looks up at the body next to her like she forgot who she slept with last night. She looks up to see that it was Ichigo and just snuggles closer to his sleeping form. It was enough for her that he was near her. Hi, Savage. Since Ichigo's back was to the sun, it was a few hours until the sun woke him up. The light finally won when it caught his metal closet doorknob at the exact right angle to hit him in the eyes. He stirred awake. Damn doorknob, he mumbles. So, damn doorknob. Then looks down and sees a black mob of hair in his arms. He immediately knows that it was Rukia and brushes the hair out of her face. He looks at the sleeping face and just smiles. It was enough for him that she was near him. So they like each other. No sooner did he think those thoughts, did he see those big eyes slowly open and look at him. She smiled when their eyes met, a moment that seemed to never end. Ichigo could see himself and get lost in her beautiful eyes. Ichigo did just that, and he didn't care if he got lost in them forever, as long as he was with her. Good morning, Ichigo. Oh, good morning, Ichigo, she said in a sleepy voice, trying to sound... Okay, so it's sleepy. Good... fuck, how do I do a girl's voice that's sleepy? Good morning, Ichigo. Morning, Rukia, Ichigo said in a voice even is even sleepier. Morning, Rukia, Ichigo said in an even sleepier voice than hers. She then leaned up to Ichigo and they started a passionate morning kiss. Passionate morning kiss. Well, as passionate as two sleepyheads could be, neither of the two lovers wanted the kiss to end, but all good things must end. Rukia broke off the kiss. She stared into Ichigo's eyes for a minute. She stared into Ichigo's eyes for a minute. Where was I? Yeah, there. And then just snuggled up against Ichigo again, never wanting it to end. After a few minutes of silence between them, because they just wanted to enjoy the moment, both Ichigo's talisman thing... Ian, I honestly don't know what that thing is called. Does anyone know that? And Rukia's phone broke the silence like a stone through a window. Ah, oh, damn it, Ichigo said, annoyance practically dripping off the words. Rukia got up, not without annoyance though, and looked at her phone to see what kind of huddle was there here. Ichigo, how about I go and take care of this? It's not a problem, Hollow, at all. No, I'll go with you, Ichigo insisted. Rukia gave him a look that a mother gives her child when she's not under any circumstances buying that child a toy. Ichigo almost cringed. Even though Rukia was the woman in the relationship, she could still wear the pants in the relationship as well. What the hell? Okay, you can go. Ichigo stuttered. Rukia gave him an innocent smile that gave no hint to the kind of look she gave Ichigo a second ago. Thank you, Ichigo, for letting me go alone, she said while getting out of her Gika. She was out of the room in a flash and on her way to where the hollow was, leaving Ichigo alone with a little worry on his face. Since he had nothing better to do, he just went downstairs to get back breakfast. he arrived in the kitchen, and time for this one. This one. He arrived in the kitchen. Yeah, he arrived in the kitchen, at the kitchen to the scene. He arrived at the kitchen to the scene of Karen and Yuzu at the kitchen table eating cereal. Ichigo's dad, on the other hand, was at the stove cooking up something that most likely wouldn't even resemble food, no matter what you did to it. Okay. Good morning, Good morning, Ichigo! Yuzu greeted. Yuzu was always the polite one, even at this early hour. Hey, Ichigo! Karen greeted in a lazy voice like always. Good morning, Ichi! Ichigo cut off his dad's attack with a quick foot to the face, like always. Hey, Yuzu, Karen, Ichigo said, completely ignoring his dad. What about me, Ichigo? Are you going to say good morning to your hard-working father? His dad whined at him. Once I have a hard-working father, then I will, Ichigo responded. If he were to look at his dad now, he would see not his father that he knew and ignored, but a solid block of ice. The rest of the morning passed by without incident. Ichigo quickly ate a bowl of cereal, and not that thing his dad was cooking, and quickly left for school. The rest of the morning passed by without goddammit. It seemed to him that Rukia was taking a while to complete her mission, but he didn't worry too much. Rukia could take care of herself fairly well, but that still didn't stop the small amount of worry that he had. He arrived at school just as the morning bell rang. At that, he had to run to his class in order to not be late. He got through the door, and just as the bell rang, a visible sigh coming along with him. He thought that maybe Rukia would just meet up with him at school, but she wasn't there. That further increased his worry. Maybe she needed to pick something up at Urahara Shoten. Yeah, that's probably it. These little explanations further gathering in his head. He also didn't see Renji at school. It was something he had grown used to, though at first it was weird seeing Renji and Squad 10 at his school. That brought up another question for Ichigo. Where was Squad 10? They were usually here every day in order to keep up appearances. This didn't look like it was going to be a good day for him. By the end of the school day, he was dripping with worry. Just at this moment, Ichigo saw Renji in his shuhakusho running out to him. He was covered in tattered cloth and wounds. Ichigo! Renji shouted. What happened, Renji? Ichigo said, a little shock in his voice and the worry almost overflowing. Doing what you should be. Ichigo's almost dead because of you. Yes, I know I'm evil. Wow, I hate okay, this is a cliffhanger. Should I end it here? Ichigo was in utter shock. Rukia was hurt somehow, and Renji was saying it was all his fault. How is it my fault? Ichigo asked and yelled, still in shock. You let her go out alone, you dumbass! Renji yelled in response. Where is she? At Urahara's, getting medical treatment. Ichigo immediately ran to Urahara Shoten with smoke trailing off his feet. His heart seemed like it was, oh shit, we need the better music now. Yeah. Well, Rukia's almost dead now, Ichigo. Yeah. Ran to Shoten with the smoke trailing off his feet. His heart seemed like it was going to give out any second. He couldn't believe that Rukia was hurt. He was already going through this morning, seeing if he had done anything that would have caused this. He arrived at Urahara's in record time, if there ever was a record for getting there. I don't know about Johnny 2. He didn't see Jinta outside. That detail didn't help his words. His mind was moving a mile in minutes and ran towards the front door. He threw it open, revealing only the little shop of candies and sweets that he always saw. He must be in the back room, he thought nervously. He practically flew over the back room. He was welcomed with the view of Rukia and a small mat that was a square outlined by something on the ground. Rukia herself was covered in wounds that left the mind to wonder if she was still alive. What Ichigo knew he should have went with her. He just had a bad feeling about this mission when it came up. He had been feeling very overprotective since they started sleeping together. I knew I should have gone with her. I should have gone with her. Ichigo forces. The entire group looked at him with a little confusion, which Ichigo noticed.
Saying that the music is still on.
She had a call this morning, and I offered to come, but she made me stay. Oh, so that's why she got caught up in this. Urahara said more to himself than anyone in particular. So, is she going to be okay? Worry dripping off his word as Ichigo said that. It's a low, bro. Since low music. Yeah, sure. So she's going to be okay. How is it not down? We're turning it way down. Is this better? Is it better? It should be better now, right? It's still not. It's freaking low right now. What the hell? It's almost turned off now. How is it not better? What the hell? That should make it at least better, like a lot better. Now it's good. Okay. So, what did you guys hear last? What's the last thing you guys heard? Should I just start over? I can make it a bit louder again. Okay, I will. Okay, what did you guys hear? What was the last thing you guys heard? I don't remember. Okay, I'll just I'll start here. Like, I knew I should have gone with her. Start over. Okay, I will. No fucking clue. Yeah, okay, I'll just start over. Song name, Volatile Reaction. Ichigo was in utter shock. Rukia was hurt somehow, and Renji was saying it was his fault. How is it my fault? Ichigo both asked and yelled in shock, still in shock. You let her go out alone, you dumbass! Renji yelled in response. Where is she? At Urahara's getting medical treatment. Ichigo immediately ran to Urahara Shoten with smoke trailing off his feet. Shh. His heart seemed like it was going to give out any second. He still couldn't believe that Rukia was hurt. He was already going through this morning seeing if he had done anything that would have caused this. He arrived at Urahara's in record time. He didn't see Jinta or Ururu outside like he usually did. That detail didn't help his nerves. His mind was moving like a mile a minute, and he ran towards the front door and threw it open, revealing only the little shop of candies and sweets that he always saw. What happened? Ichigo demanded. They must be in the back room, he thought nervously. He practically flew over to the back room door and almost broke it trying to open it. He was welcomed with a view of Rukia and a small mat that was in a small square outlined by something on the ground. Rukia herself was covered in wounds that left the mind to wonder if she was still alive. What happened? Ichigo demanded of Urahara and company. She was completing a mission and she was ambushed by higher level hollows. It appears that the weak one that she was after was just a decoy, Urahara explained. Ichigo knew he should have went with her. He just had a bad feeling about this mission when it came up. He had been feeling very overprotective since they started sleeping together. I'm making a heartbeat, man. I knew I should have gone with her, Ichigo voiced to the small group. The entire group looked at him with a little confusion, when Ichigo stated, She had a call this morning and I offered to come, but she made me stay. Oh, so that's why you got caught up in this. She got caught up in this, Urahara said, more to himself than anyone in particular. So, is she going to be okay? Ichigo asked, worry dripping off his words. It's going to be tough, but she can make it if she wills herself strongly enough. Half of all medicine is based on how bad the patient wants to get better, Urahara responded. Ichigo was devastated. Rukia could die and he would blame himself for the rest of his life. Will she be conscious soon? Ichigo asked. Possibly, but don't get your hopes up, Ichigo. She's still in a pretty bad condition, Urahara responded. Urahara read Ichigo's face and left the room to give Ichigo alone time with Rukia. The rest of the employees also left, following their employer. Ichigo was grateful to be given some alone time with Rukia, even if she was unconscious. He was still beating himself up over what happened. I will never forgive myself. I'll never forgive myself, he thought to himself. Several hours passed and Ichigo was still in the room alone with Rukia. The sun had set long ago. Ichigo was about to get up and leave on account of his eyelids not wanting to stay open, when Rukia stirred. Ichigo's heart immediately raced, and his sleepiness disappeared in an instant as he ran over her. Rukia, can you hear me? Rukia! Ichigo asked frantically, still excited that she came to. Yes, Rukia said in a faint, almost non-existent voice. Ichigo was still overjoyed that she was conscious. Anyone who walked in would no doubt be able to tell exactly what Ichigo was thinking just by the look of his face. Oh, thank the gods! Ichigo said in an overjoyed voice to no one in particular. I'm not that hurt, Ichigo, Rukia said in a non-convincing voice. I'm not that hurt, Ichigo. What are you talking about? You're covered in wounds and you were unconscious for hours. That's nothing for me, Ichigo. Now you're just trying to look tough. No, really, I'm fine. Okay then. Then does it hurt when I do this? Ichigo touched a wound on her arm, causing her to violently flinch almost to the other side of the room. That's what I thought. Okay, maybe I'm worse off than I thought, Rukia admitted. Yeah, and maybe you need a little less less stubborn, and next time it could be worse. Both of them just sat there in silence for a few minutes. Not a sound was heard. I'm sorry I didn't ask for you to come, Ichigo. I will next time, Rukia said apologetically. Well, as long as you learn from your mistakes, I forgive you, Ichigo responded, while looking away at the ceiling with his arms crossed. Rukia then crawled over to him and hugged him as a scared little girl would hug her big brother in the middle of the night. Ichigo pet her hair with his hand. Returned the embrace. Pet the hairs and returned the embrace with his hand. It was a few days until Rukia was well enough to go home. Though she seemed energetic when she woke up, that energy was not destined to last. Ichigo was very happy to hear from Urahara that Rukia could go home, but she also said that she won't be able to go on assignments for a few more days. The next time Rukia woke up, Ichigo told her this, and she promised to abide by it. Ichigo slept at Urahara's shop for Rukia's entire stay there, not wanting to be away from Rukia. Next song again. Let's see. How about this one? No, that's creepy. No. This is... Let's do this one. Okay. What was here? Rukia liked the company, most likely because of who it was and why he stayed. Since Rukia had to sleep a lot, they didn't have much time to be able to talk. What with Ichigo having his own assignments in school, he usually had only about an hour and a half with Rukia each day. Hey, your music are good. I got any more battle music? I do, but this is not a battle scene. To Ichigo, it seemed like a century for Rukia to get well. It couldn't have come sooner for him. I'm gonna put this one back on. This is better. I need romantic music. Let's find some romantic music. There we go. Where's my music? This is not very romantic. That's not romantic. Is this romantic? This will have to do. Live dashboard. Where's Sky and Sweetie Swag? To Ichigo, it seemed like a century for Rukia to get well. It couldn't have come sooner for him. He carried Rukia's bridal style from Urahara's to his house. Rukia protested at first, and Ichigo refused, so she just let it be and allowed herself to be carried. During the entire day, way back, Rukia was clutching tightly to Ichigo's shuhakusho. Ichigo noticed this, but didn't say anything. Well, Ichigo said once they arrived. We're home. Ichigo then walked up to Rukia's room and laid her on his bed. It seemed that Rukia found his bed very comfortable, because she fell asleep almost on impact. Ichigo could and would, if need be, just watch Rukia sleep forever. He realized that he had some work around the house to do, so his watching would have to wait. He found his physical body and got in it. He found his physical body and got in it. Really? Really? Is it too loud, guys? Just say so if it's too loud. He found his physical body and got into it. Okay. I seriously can't think of a word to use for getting into a body. And walked downstairs. It was pretty late, so he was surprised to see Karen in the kitchen eating leftovers. Hey, Ichigo, she tossed at him. Hey, Karen, why are you up so late? Cravings. It's fine, okay. Oh, the song already stopped. That was fast. I'll just have to go with the music I have. I'll just put on this one. I'm gonna close my window. That's a lot of noise. 2 seconds. Why are you up so late? Cravings. 2 seconds, guys. And they left it at that. Ichigo had always liked it when Karen was up, if he was sneaking around the house. You didn't have to give her a reason for why you were up, because she never asked. Unlike Yusu, who worried over every single bad health related reason for why you were still awake. And they left it at no. Ichigo just grabbed some chips and a soda and headed back upstairs. He found Rukia still asleep and just sat at his desk. He found a manga he was reading a while back. He just picked it up and started reading about a blonde kid who had with a fake arm and a leg with an armor-clad brother. You otakus like myself will know what series I'm talking about. He just got to a part where the blonde kid made a spear out of the floor when he heard movement from his bed. Rukia was awake, and Ichigo was very excited for her to be so. He put the manga aside and went to her. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Ichigo asked tenderly. I'm feeling fine. That nap did a world of good. Now you won't get any sleep and keep me up all night. Now if we do something to tire you out, Rukia said with a sly grin on her face. You got something on mind? Ichigo asked, a similar grin also on his face. Why do you ask questions you already know the answer to? Rukia said. Okay, now we're getting to the part that isn't safe for work. Ichigo always loved it when Rukia got that sly look in her eye. It always meant that something good for him was about to happen. Wow, okay. Let's get some light. No matter how sensitive Ichigo could be to Rukia, he still was a man first and foremost. So Ichigo's heart started beating faster and faster when Rukia looked at him with bedroom eyes. Come over here, Ichigo. Alright. And you won't be needing those clothes. Ichigo started getting hard at those words. That was fast. Just the words. He started to slowly remove his shirt, showing his toned chest and stomach. Rukia continued to stare at Ichigo with lust-filled eyes. Rukia was horny after about 2 sexless weeks, and she was just going to get some cock whether Ichigo wanted it or not. Damn, these words! Sexy music. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Sexy music. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. I just found the perfect music. Let's just turn down this. Like this. Is this a good volume? Whether Ichigo wanted it or not, Ichigo just wanted it just as bad as Rukia did. He hadn't even masturbated for the entire time Rukia was resting. This is getting very, very graphic. After Ichigo's shirt was off, he started to take off his jeans. Once they were off, Rukia could see a quickly growing arc in his boxers. There it is, she thought to herself. She used a single finger to tell Ichigo to come over to the bed. As Ichigo slowly walked to the bed, the arc in his boxer started to grow. Finally, Rukia said in an impatient voice. Once Ichigo was standing next to the bed, Rukia impatiently grabbed his boxers and took them off, leaving Ichigo's erection touching the air and twitching. She ran her fingers over his length, tenderly receiving a moan in response from Ichigo. Ah. She leaned forward and slowly licked from the bottom of Ichigo's shaft to the tip, taking as long as physically possible. She continued this until Ichigo put his hand on the back of her head, encouraging her to take more of his erection into her mouth. She happily obliged and started to suck on the head, twirling her tongue around and around. She felt a little pressure added to Ichigo's grip, but she didn't mind. She eventually started to take more and more of Ichigo's length into her mouth. It's next song. This isn't too much. No. 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 Ichigo was enjoying every second of this, his release quickly approaching. Rukia was already taking his entire length into her mouth. Ichigo could feel her throat gripping his erection. Her mouth felt so warm and moist to him. I'm about to come, Rukia, Ichigo gasped. Rukia immediately clamped her hand around the base of the shaft. Hard, it blocked his urethra so he couldn't come. You're going to come inside, Rukia said in a very seductive. You're going to come inside, Rukia said in a very seductive voice. Ichigo's cock hurt badly from being denied what it wanted. Rukia leaned back onto the bed and coaxed Ichigo on top of her. Ichigo lined up his erection to her and started to prod. Here it goes, was the only warning Ichigo gave before slowly pushing himself into her. She seemed to be tighter than the first time they did it. His cock felt like it was being choked, but at the same time it felt like it was melting. It was warmer and tighter than her mouth. Ichigo could feel her muscles squeezing around his rock-hard length. Yes, Rukia moaned. This is what I've needed. Yes. Once Ichigo finished pushing in his entire length, he tried to start pumping it in and out. He started to pull out and received both a loud moan and a very visible shudder from Rukia. Oh! Once she just had the tip in, he shoved his erection back into Rukia as fast and hard as he could. This made Rukia jump from the bed and tangle her arms around his back and tying her feet behind him so that he couldn't pull her out completely from her. On the second thrust in, she brought her lips and Ichigo's into a passionate kiss. Ichigo continued to penetrate her while trading and swapping saliva with his lover. Damn. I told you it's not safe for work, guys. I'm gonna come soon, Rukia, Ichigo moaned into Rukia's ear. Shoot it inside. Shoot it inside. But you might get pregnant. I don't care. Ichigo didn't second guess her. He was just too caught up in the moment. After a few more thrusts, he came. He unleashed a torrent of his seed deep inside Rukia. Ichigo never thought he could unleash that much of his seed. After he let it all out, he just pulled out of Rukia and lay next to her on the bed. He could see all his cum running like a river from her slits. That was amazing, Rukia, Ichigo said after a minute of resting in the afterglow. He got and sat on the edge of the bed and started to go to get something from the kitchen when he felt Rukia's hand on his shoulder. Where are you going? We're not finished here, Rukia said with both lust and command in her voice. Where are you going? We're not finished here. She turned Ichigo around and made him look into her eyes. Ichigo could see nothing but the carnal desire to mate in her eyes. She took a blue pill from out of nowhere and made Ichigo take it. It took a minute, but Ichigo eventually felt his own sexual desire starting to rise again. He also felt his erection beginning to return, which Rukia was already stroking with her hand. I didn't come now, did I? I didn't come now, did I? Rukia asked playfully. She tossed Ichigo onto his back on the bed with superhuman strength. When Ichigo finally realized what happened, Rukia was already straddling his waist, rubbing her with dripping, opening rubbing her still dripping opening with the length of his cock. Ichigo could feel her burning slit along his cock, and it seemed even hotter than it did a minute ago. Once Rukia apparently had enough of that, she knelt up on her knees and positioned Ichigo's length at her opening. Without any warning, she impaled herself with Ichigo's erection. Ichigo thought for a second that his length was on fire. The heat radiating from Rukia's insides was unbelievable. The only reason he didn't come right now and right then and there was that he had already come a few minutes ago. But it still wouldn't be long before he came a second time that day. He looked up at Rukia's face and saw nothing but pure ecstasy. She almost had her eyes rolling into the back of her head, and she had her tongue sort of lolling out without a care in the world. This went on for a few minutes before Ichigo's release was already on the horizon again. "Rukia, I'm gonna come again." Ichigo moaned, trying to pull Rukia back from Planet 6. "Fill me up, Ichigo! Make me pregnant!" Rukia screamed. Ichigo was sure that the rest of the house heard that. Ichigo didn't have time to convince Rukia to let him pull out. He was already coating her insides with hot, sticky, white fluid. He also felt Rukia shake violently. It looked like she had come as well. Once Ichigo's torrent of seed finished, Rukia just lay on top of him. Ichigo could hear her breathing, like she just ran a marathon. Ichigo's head was right by Ichigo's ear when he heard her say something. "I love you, Ichigo," Rukia said in an exhausted voice. "I love you too, Rukia." Tomorrow they will see the result of their little sex marathon. Rukia woke up first, drowsy and foggy-headed. It took a minute for her memory from last night to come back to her. She remembered the feeling of having Ichigo inside her first, then the feeling of having his seed pumped inside her twice. She blushed furiously at the memory of the way she acted last night. She was so hot for sex last night that she was not herself, and she would bet that Ichigo could tell. Rukia was normally calm and composed, but last night she lost all control and gave in to her desire for sex. She has never had that happen to her, but it felt liberating to be able to let go and go wild without a care in the world. After remembering last night, she looked at what she was holding on to. She found herself with her arms wrapped around Ichigo's chest, with her head resting on his biceps. His arms were holding her tight in a tight embrace. Her blush deepened. It also didn't help that they were both still naked under the sheets. Then Matsumoto was born. Wow, okay. Rukia just lay there, enjoying the moment when she felt Ichigo move. She looked up at him as he looked down on her. Their eyes met and didn't break for a while, for what felt to them for like years. They were lost in each other's eyes. "Good morning, Ichigo," Rukia said tenderly. "Good was all Ichigo could get out before his lips were captured by Rukia's. While still kissing Ichigo, she pushed him back down on the bed and climbed on top of him. Rukia broke the kiss and laid her head on his chest, content with just being near him. "Wow, you were like a different person last night, Rukia." The silence. I need to turn on the music again. Let's see. Right. While still kissing Ichigo, she pushed him back down on the bed and climbed on top of him. Rukia broke the kiss and laid her head on his chest, content with just being near him. Wow, you were like a different person last night, Rukia. Rukia apparently took this the wrong way. She lifted her head up and looked at Ichigo with annoyed eyes. What do you mean? She asked, annoyance lining her words. Erotism. It's actually eroticism. It's spelled like this. Eroticism. That's a real word. Damn, my little sister can actually hear me while I'm doing this. This is fucking... Oh my god. My fucking little sister is hearing this. I think she has her boyfriend over as well, so... Yeah. GG. That's... That's surreal. Wow. Wow. What do you mean? She asked, annoyance lining her words. See ya, Kirito. No, it's not like that. I mean, it's not what I was expecting. So you were expecting better? She bickered. The bickering just went on and on for about an hour. Rukia knew what Ichigo meant, but she loved teasing him. She always did this, and did it to Ichigo when he set himself up for it. After the bickering was over, Rukia went to the bathroom to do the lady stuff that made women spend at least an hour in the bathroom in the morning. While Rukia was busy, Ichigo put on some pants and a white t-shirt and went to get something to eat. Yeah? Yeah, tweak so. You encourage her boyfriend and it could be bad. Lol. Nah, Nick. As long as I'm home, it won't happen. He was greeted in the kitchen with the sight of Yuzu and Karen at the table eating pancakes that Yuzu made. Smells delicious, Yuzu. Thanks, Ichigo, Yuzu said happily. She truly was the maternal figure in the family since the mother died. Sup, Ichigo? Karen threw over to Ichigo apathetically. She never was interested in many things, and those she were interested in, she never showed. Ichigo had a feeling that this day was going to be extraordinarily ordinary. Other than the waking up with Rukia naked, sleeping with him, Rukia came... Wait, what? Ichigo had a feeling and then sleeping with him. Rukia's not a him, though. Okay, that must be an error. Rukia came walking down the stairs in her school clothes a few minutes later. On the way back to school, Rukia started to look a little sick. Ichigo was a little concerned, but figured it was just some of the drugs Urahara gave her to getting out of her system. Ichigo still kept it in the back of his mind in case it got worse. By the time they reached school, Rukia was worsened, but not by much. She's pregnant. She's 100% pregnant. They reached the classroom just as the bell rang and took their seats. Ichigo looked over to where Rukia sat and saw that she had her head down and an arm wrapped around her stomach. He decided to ask about it at lunch. In the meantime, he would have to focus on the classwork from his teacher. He mindlessly took in what was being taught to him and answered the question when called on. But Rukia, being sick, still lingered on the back of his thoughts. He began to think that maybe he was a little rough with her last night. But he then remembered that it was Rukia doing all the work. He just obeyed like a good little horn dog. Lunch couldn't have come sooner. When the bell sounded, he went over to Rukia to confront her. He saw that she only looked worse. All color from her face seemed to have drained away. Are you okay? Rukia? he asked, concern covering his word. Yeah, I'm fine. That didn't sound very convincing. It sounded like she had to force those words out. I'm fine. You're sick. No, really, I'm fine. I'm going to ask if I can take you home. Damn. No, you don't have to do that. But Ichigo was already going to the office to ask if he could take Rukia home. Rukia felt too bad, she felt too bad to really care anymore. Ichigo was acting as Rukia's crutch on the walk home. Ichigo could tell at this point she would snap like a twig. She was really sick, more than just a cold or flu. They arrived at Ichigo's house a few minutes after leaving the school. Ichigo helped Rukia upstairs, not wanting to rush her. Rukia suddenly had a burst of energy and rushed to the bathroom. Ichigo watched in a daze as she sprinted to the bathroom. Rukia came out the bathroom about an hour later. Ichigo had been reading more about the blonde dog of the military from his manga. When Rukia entered his room. Okay, so that's Full Metal Alchemist. He's reading the Full Metal Alchemist manga. Looking a little better. Feeling better? Ichigo asked upon her entry. Yeah, a little bit, Rukia said truthfully. Well, I need to use the bathroom now. Be back in a sec. As he left for the bathroom, he saw Rukia seem to get a little bit nervous. He would ask about that later. She seemed to be keeping something from him. He did what he needed to do and washed his hands. As he reached for a cloth to dry his hands with, he knocked over the soap bottle. It fell into the trash can and shifted the contents around. As Ichigo reached down to retrieve the bottle, he noticed something that caught his eye. Ichigo forgot about the bottle and picked this item up. It was one of those disposable pregnancy tests that you could get at a convenience store that showed blue if you were knocked up. What really made this item interesting was that only Ichigo and Rukia used this one. What made this item even more interesting is that what that part of it was as blue as the sky. Ichigo fainted. So guys, I'm gonna end the episode here because I have to walk my dog, and then there's not a lot of time. So yeah, I'm gonna end the episode now. But yeah, I'll probably do at least a little in this weekend. I'm probably gonna end this whole thing in a couple days. So yeah, see you guys later, man. So I'm gonna end the stream here. Stay awesome, stay epic, stay savage, whatever. And also, remember to like if you like the video. Remember to subscribe if you like the video as well, or if you want to see more content like this. The video will be uploaded in a separate video later. Yeah, see you guys, and have a nice day.